we believe things and then they become our reality. You know, how many people in the past have sort of say, well, they knew what they were doing when JFK was assassinated and things like that. So they're putting memories into your memory and you're remembering it that way, but it's memories. So people say, well, I saw Biden on the news talking, but you didn't. So it's making you have history that's not there. How can they allow us to see it and them not see it, and then strike people for the most ridiculous things? This is what we're being shown.
We don't look up. But in these images, I have to look up because it's just a flattened two-dimensional surface with height. That is, this part is higher than this part, and this part is right to this part. So this is height and width, no depth. Now, there is depth here because we do live in a three-dimensional world, but the image itself is just two-dimensional. So that's what I'm trying to point out here.
I try to tell you as best as possible under the circumstances that we're put in and what we're allowed to say and not say, because right now YouTube is very, very one-sided. That's what I see. Anyway, we try, but to put stuff out on my channels the best way I can. Probably just to make you think. Maybe go and do your own research as well. Anyway, you know, these videos come out. This wasn't my video, this was Josh's video. But you can clearly see he's on a green screen and those microphones don't match in with him. And that one there gets extremely big behind his hand. Look at that. Enormous, etc, etc. And I've always tried to explain kind of what's going on as best as possible. The reality of making you believe something that never actually happened. I don't even know how they're doing this, because is he part of the green screen? And then the microphones are put on top? Because that microphone goes behind his hand. But we already know that's not right. None of that is right with the microphones. And then it goes there, see? Behind his jacket.
We don't look up. But in these images, I have to look up because it's just a flattened two-dimensional surface with height. That is, this part is higher than this part, and this part is right to this part. So this is height and width, no depth. Now, there is depth here because we do live in a three-dimensional world, but the image itself is just two-dimensional. So that's what I'm trying to point out here.
And then we're able to see things like this, like this is like the films we watch. How can they not be seeing this? The ones that are allowing us to see it, you know, from them to them, without using names. How can they be allowed to present this to us, and then I get striked for something that they presented, but I got the strike but the other ones didn't? How can they not see this and want to not put the program in that stops all the deepfake? How can other people get strikes and then this is going on? Why are we being shown this? It's there. I mean, when you're looking at him, you can see the neck underneath. That's a much younger person sitting there. See? With his head on top. Anyway, the plain truth, he said something I really liked as an explanation to what I've been trying to tell you about this, sort of how they're doing this. Travis. I just like what Travis said. So he's talking about distance with his, as he's zooming out, but listen to what he says. Gotta remember this, with this. Look at that. He's lost the top of his head. This just wouldn't happen if he was really there. I just wanted to say that this is my point. These are 2D on 2D. But when we take pictures, it's the only way I can kind of explain it is we're 3D, yeah, we go into 2D. But these were never 3D. They were never, these are programs. Look. What does it look like? Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds are go.
We don't look up. But in these images, I have to look up because it's just a flattened two-dimensional surface with height. That is, this part is higher than this part, and this part is right to this part. So this is height and width, no depth. Now, there is depth here because we do live in a three-dimensional world, but the image itself is just two-dimensional. So that's what I'm trying to point out here.